There can be no forgiveness for what they have done. The billions of souls taken by their ignorance and fear will be avenged. They thought us monsters. But if that is what they want from us, then that is what they shall get. My name is David Walbrook, captain of the Has Invictus. The Invictus is the last dreadnought left in all of humanity's fleets. On it rests the weary souls of around 3 million soldiers. I believe that I am the highest ranking officer left alive in the Human Alliance. Thus it falls to me to guide our battered fleet to our new home. Following the Invictus are a couple battleships, a dozen destroyers, and various civilian ships not equipped for combat. Our sad fleet is all that remains of humanity. Perhaps there are a few survivors left scattered on remote worlds or running on small ships. But we are the last significant group of humans left. Counting every ship in our fleet, our remaining population must be around 5 million. Before the war, humanity's population was estimated to have been around 33 billion. This is the greatest extinction event we have ever known. Our broken ships barely trudge forward. Our engineers work tirelessly to keep them moving. Yet move we must. We must reach our haven. Only then can we have time to grieve. And time to plot our vengeance. But perhaps I should start from the beginning. Before contact had been made with the alien species, humanity had made great strides and advancements in space travel. We had long colonized other worlds and found rare resources in abundance. We had entered a new golden age. Our ambitions were limitless. We were conquering this vast frontier with hope and determination. Until we made contact with the others. Many of us knew that it was inevitable that we would eventually make contact with intelligent life. At first we were excited, yet cautious, to meet our new neighbors in this grand universe. This gradually changed, of course. It seems our curse was being a target of prophecy. First contact was established with the Inocutan, a four-legged race of mostly farmers. They told us to send our god through a wormhole door to meet with the interspecies government called the Convent. Seeing that the Inocutan were a very religious species, we assumed that God meant our leader. How wrong we were. We sent a few representatives to the convent. When they arrived, they found themselves in a gargantuan chamber filled with more beings than they could count. Each looked very different from the other. At the center was a large being, who introduced herself as the goddess Alum. "Where is your god, mortals?" asked Alum in her leery, yet musical voice. The representatives were puzzled. "What do you mean?" one of them asked. "We assumed that this god the Inocutan referred to meant leader." "How puzzling," answered Alum. "Every intelligent species in the universe is created by a god. Each god guides their people, nurtures them, protects them. To be without a god is be at the mercy of the chaos of nature. So I ask again, where is your god? We humans cannot agree upon a true religion." Another of the representatives spoke. "Some believe in one god, others many, and others none at all. If there is a god among us, we have no way of contacting it." Alum replied. "There is simply no way. Your species could have achieved all that is has without a higher power guiding you. Unless," Alum whispered to herself. Her face seemed to scrunch up as if taken by a dark thought for just a mere second. But she compassed herself once more into the unfazed godly figure she was. "Your people have a god. If for whatever reason your god has decided to hide themselves from you, that is their business. But we will find your deity so that it may properly join our ranks. Only the gods are allowed a seat at the convent. You may leave now." And with that, our representative left the convent, never to set foot in there again. For the next few years, we made small trades with a few other species we came across. But they never seemed to want much to do with us. In fact, as the years went by, each species became more and more distant. In fact, they began to cut contact with us one by one. 7 years after first making contact with the Inocutan, we were all alone again. No alien species would contact us, and they would not reveal why. Then suddenly, a gargantuan fleet of alien ships of many species appeared at our homeworld, Earth. Without warning, they fired upon our ships and even Earth itself. They fired on Earth without a care for the location. Military and civilian locations alike without mercy. We hopelessly tried to defend ourselves and establish communication with their fleets. Finally, they seemed willing to talk with us and halted their relentless assault. We opened a communication channel with the leader of their fleet. It was Alum herself. Vile cretins. Alum spoke with venom. We have found your god. You are the children of the destroyer. Your god abandoned you at your birth, so that you would be forged by chaos and cruelty of the universe. You are killing machines that have only known war and conflict throughout your pitiful existence. If left to your own devices, you will spread war and chaos throughout the universe like a relentless plague. This may seem like cruelty, but it is a mercy. You should blame your god for abandoning you to become the monsters you are now. Do not resist and your deaths will be swift and merciful. And with that, cut all lines of communication. Immediately, the alien fleets began firing upon us again. At that time I was ordered to take my dreadnought and a few other ships to abandon Earth. We were to retreat to our other worlds to regroup. I did not wish to leave Earth, but the devastation was obvious. There was no saving it. With a heavy heart, I led my fleet to our other worlds. But each world we came across had already been devastated. What little survivors we found were in battered ships with grim hearts. We constantly fought off and fled roaming enemies. And after one particularly costly battle, we jumped into a void of unknown space. The coordinates we set were a gamble. We could only hope that we would not run into any other species. Luckily, we had caught a break. However, our ships were all barely trudging on. We were doomed. We had no station or resources to repair our ships. They would eventually fall apart and we would all die. All hope was gone. There would be no last stand for humanity. We would die a slow death in the void of space. But then, the most bizarre thing occurred. From my command deck I had just poured myself a glass bourbon, hoping to drown my sorrows. But from my window I saw a colossus creature that rivaled the size of our very own dreadnought. This creature was like nothing I had ever seen. It had dozens of great leathery black wings, hundreds of great fiery tentacles. And at the center of this monstrous being was a great gargantuan eye that was staring directly into my soul. Immediately, I broke out of my stupor and commanded everyone to their battle stations. The alarms were blaring, and I was preparing my mind for humanity's final stand. But the creature did not attack. Instead, every soul in our fleet heard a thundering, an alien voice that seemed to emanate from within our own minds. Be not afraid, children of the firstborn soul. I am merely a messenger. I bring you a glimmer of hope in these dark times. In your navigation systems you will find the coordinates to a hidden system. Those who call themselves gods will not find you here. Here you may forge yourself into instruments of vengeance and slay the false deities. As the leader of our ragged group, I realized that it was I who should communicate with this being. Who are you? I asked. What does this all mean? Who I am is not important. I am merely a messenger. It is who you are that matters. You are the children of the firstborn soul. Throughout your history you have had many names for this being. Your God created you so that you may find your own path within the universe. Every accomplishment of yours is your own doing. Every victory, every setback, every step. No other intelligent race in the universe can claim this. But the other gods are jealous of your power. They would seek to destroy you because you exist as proof that their positions are meaningless. They do not guide their races. They hold them back. They purposely stifle innovation and free thought, so that they cannot rival their own power. They call you destroyers. Perhaps that is what you are. But the firstborn prefers to see you in a different light. You are liberators. You free the species created by the tyrant gods. They will not love you for it, not at first. But their descendants will come to appreciate your valor. So go now, children of the firstborn soul. Gather your strength, weep for your lost, and prepare for the age of mortals. You will spread across the universe like a cleansing flame. Embrace the destiny that you forge for yourselves. And with a blinding flash of light the being was gone. For many minutes I stared out into the void of space, simply stunned. But I shook myself back into reality. The coordinates were there. I commanded our fleet to make its way there and sent scouts ahead to find what lies within the system. They returned and gave us news of a lush, beautiful world with many nearby planets, filled with all kinds of useful resources. For the first time in many, many months, I had hope. Captain, the pilot of the Invictus turned to me. We are almost there. I was wondering if you had a name in mind for this new system. I looked at the pilot and smirked. Yeah, I've got a name in mind. It might sound a little dramatic, but I can't help but feel it fits perfectly. And what would that be? Armageddon. The author's name and the link to original text is in the description. Consider tapping the thumbs up and pressing the subscribe button if you enjoyed this video.